welcome back to our channel. Today we have a how-to video for you all, and we are going to be going over how to review your notes in preparation for tests and quizzes that you may have. So basically we'll just be going over effective strategies for you to look at your notes and become better prepared for tests and quizzes over content that you've taken notes on.
And without further ado, let's just get right on into it. So our first tip is, if you decide to review your notes by reading, make sure that you're actively reading. The best way I personally find you can do this is by choosing a new color of writing utensil or using a highlighter and just going through your notes and underlining important things. So as you can see in these notes that I took last year, I just used a different colored pen and underlined important concepts, words, and I drew arrows to connect ideas. Also, in an ideal situation, you would be using these other utensils to annotate your notes, so you could write extra notes to yourself or just extra ideas that pop into your head when you're reviewing the concepts. And as you can see in these notes, I did it with pencil, but it might be better to do it with pen or a different colored utensil just so it pops.
So our next tip is more general, and it is just to start reviewing early. So basically just try to flip through your notes at least one time per week to refresh information, and that would be for information that you're currently learning in class. If it's really old, I would say at least once a month, but sometimes that is kind of hard. And when you're reviewing for a specific test, I would say to really focus in on your studying at least 1 week before, so you have plenty of time to catch up on everything and get questions asked from your teacher. With this, as you review your notes, you should write specific questions to ask your teacher while you're reviewing, and this forces you to make sure that you don't review the night before the test, because then you'll have no time to ask your teacher these questions, and it also forces you to focus in on what you're reviewing in order to formulate specific questions to ask your teacher, if that makes sense. You have to focus in on your notes in order to make sure that you're paying attention to any confusion points that you need to ask about.
Thirdly, another way to review your notes is by making study materials from your notes. So one of the main ways I like to do this is by using my notes to make very in-depth practice tests, especially for classes in the sciences and in math. It's really important to get as much practice as you can. So if you make practice tests that are very detailed, it'll make sure that you're getting your practice in, and then you can also go back and check your answers and add any notes if you get any of the problems wrong. So I usually get most of my practice questions from any past quizzes that we've done, or just from practice problems that we do in class when we are taking notes. Also, note cards are another study material you can make from your notes, except instead of directly copying down your notes on the back of the note cards, you could instead summarize, and this makes sure that instead of just rewriting your notes, you're actually thinking about the material. And note cards are very helpful because you can take them on the go anywhere, and they help with memorizing anything you need to. And then our fourth tip is to brainstorm everything you know about a topic and just write it down. How you can do this is by first not using your notes and just writing everything you know about a unit or a topic area if your teacher provides them for you. And then once you're done with that, you can go back into your notes and add specific examples or practice problems. And if you didn't remember everything about that topic, you can add it from your notes. This strategy is very helpful because it really tells you if you know a lot about the topic or if you don't, and which areas you need to study more about. This kind of simulates a test because when you are writing everything down, it is purely from memorization, which is similar to what you may be asked to do on a test, and it makes sure that you are actively studying.
So tip number 5 is to teach your notes to other people. And this can actually be anyone, so you can teach them to yourself, a friend, or if you actually have no one or you just feel uncomfortable, you can even teach it to a stuffed animal or just the air. So when you do this, I would recommend that you read your notes aloud, and as you read your notes aloud, you can elaborate on your notes and just simulate a teacher. If you overtalk, it's okay because it just means you know the information better. And while you do this, I would recommend that you use a whiteboard or a blank piece of paper to teach from scratch. This means don't have any notes out while you're teaching, and just, except for maybe your topic areas that you want to go over, and then just use your whiteboard and teach those things from scratch. So that way you can just see exactly what you know from your brain, and then you can add things in later when you look back at your notes. And while you do this, you can use practice problems to show and explain if it's math or science.
Thank you all so much for watching. Those were our 5 main tips for making sure you are reviewing your notes to actually help you prepare you for your test. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope that you come back next week for our next video.
If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can see more videos like this one every Tuesday, and make sure to share it with anyone else you think might enjoy or benefit from this video. Bye, and have a great week!